It's Dating with Katy, and today's episode is a little hot and spicy, even for me. We're talking about sex and dating. Now, look, I'm not a sex coach by any means. I believe in being sexy and having fun and being sexual. That's why we date. So I don't minimize that part of dating. But we're going to talk about the first stages of dating and how sex plays into that, and the good, the bad, and the kind of ugly, because there's definitely stories out there you could all share with me. So make sure you subscribe. This is season 2. For season 1, if you need to know all the do's and don'ts of dating and app dating, you got to go listen to that. Now, season 2, I'm getting more into the practical nuances of dating, just like sex. So make sure that you are subscribed and following. Guys, also, I want to make sure that you're subscribed on Instagram, where I do these private master classes. I just did why people suck at dating and why you don't. And then I'll be doing 7 steps to sexy for women. Those are all archived. You can watch them at any time. So those are in depth. They're videos. You're going to see clothing. You're going to see visuals. Like, it's the teacher in me coming out. And I want to thank my sponsor. Now, this sponsor, I'm totally on board with. It is called Raider app. Now, you guys know that I'm a big fan of online dating. Even though I'm a matchmaker, even though I do private services, I believe that for most people, online dating is your best bet. It's a numbers game. But with all these apps nowadays, you know that my rule is 80% of people out there are junk. So the 20%ers, where are they? And I know that they're going to be on this app. So the app will be Raider.date. That's also the Instagram. Go check it out. So this is what they're doing, and this is what I love about it. When you join Raider and you help build an honest, no BS dating community by rating people that you've matched with, you're going to help verify their profile information and photo versus their real life appearance. We're looking for authenticity and letting other potential matches know what you've discovered. Now, I do this every day in my career. People hire me to vet, and I'm expensive. So it's not like anybody can hire Katy. But guys, now there are apps that are helping you do that and helping you to make sure other people are doing that, so you're not wasting your time. And again, you can't get back your time. So go check it out. I feel like it's such a great way to date and rate the people that you want to date. All right, well, let's get into today's topic of sex and dating. And now, again, I've done some back research. I have my own personal opinions. I will be honest, I actually didn't have sex till I was married. I'm a believer in that. I actually teach my children that mindset, because there are way too many kids having sex at an early age, and it messes them up. And I can say this, there are just as many adults having sex too early, even in a later age and stage, and it messes them up. So I do feel like that it is a good thing to teach our younger generation to wait, to slow down. And guys, I'm going to be teaching that today too. Now, look, I understand you might get a little wiggly and it might happen on first, second, third dates. We'll get to that. But I want to read a piece of a book to you. And, everybody talks about this book, Men Love Bitches. It's a good book. I really liked it. But this is actually my favorite book for women to read, and it's called The Power of the Pussy. And it specifically is talking about sex and dating and how men think and why you should maybe hold out. And look, at the end of the day, I think this visual will give you a good idea as to why. It says, it's the old theory that if you get something for free, you won't appreciate it as much as if you had to work for it. I'm all about effort and working hard for something. The book says, what happens when you give a kid an expensive toy the first time he asks for it without making him earn it? He'll play with it once or twice, and then he's going to toss it to the side with no further interest. Now, all of us parents, we know. Like, we definitely know that to be true. But on the other hand, make a kid beg for the toy for a week or a few weeks, or make the kid prove he deserves the toy with good behavior and hard work. Then make the kid do chores to earn the money to buy the toy. By the time the kid finally gets the toy, he's going to love the toy, take good care of it, and appreciate it. Men are like little boys with their toys. Make them wait, make them work, make them pay. Then they will love you, appreciate you, and take good care of you. Now, again, this book is The Power of the Pussy. It is by Kara King. Kara, girl, I got to say, well written. And I know all you guys out there, you agree. Don't pretend like that's not truth, because it is. And I want to bring up some of the points of sex dating, especially in those very early stages. Now, in my last couple episodes, I talked about my 3-3-3 rule, which is 3 dates, 3 weeks, 3 months, and how that stage, how it evolves. And I call that dating, seeing, and then determining the relationship. So you should be dating someone. 3 dates is about, that first season. And should I have sex in that time, Katy? What if the night's young and fun and going great? Well, I'll get to that. But let's first define sex. Now, to be fair and frank, we're talking about sex on a first date because there's no way that you can be making love in the very first season of dating someone. There's just no physical, emotional connection that could be built strong enough in those first stages where you can actually say, oh, we were making love, Katy. Making love is for a deep rooted relationship that is growing and has a future forward. So I'm talking about sex. Sex is the animalistic. It's all about attraction. As you guys like to say, Katy, it's all about chemistry. Chemistry, mind you, is going to fade because life gets hard and relationships are work. They shouldn't be hard, but relationships are still work. So this is sex. This is, I'm so attracted. The chemistry is fabulous, Katy. It just happened. It just felt natural. Well, that's sex. That's not making love. And again, making love is really what a woman needs. Sex is what a man needs. Making love is what a woman ultimately wants. And at the end, you're both going to want both of those. But ladies, let's make sure that you are not thinking that you are making love with someone when really you're just having sex in these early stages. So I'm going to talk to the men first. Men, I love you. You know I'm on team good guy, but let's be honest, all men think about sex. All of you do, even the good guy. It is not uncommon for the good guy to be thinking about it just as much as the douchebag. So ladies, you need to be aware of men. They are men. It's how they're wired. A good man, a good alpha male, a good man who wants to protect and provide also wants to take you home and throw you on the bed. It's just truth. And sometimes I feel like we want to minimize the male and he, that's wrong that he feels that way. No way. It's not wrong at all. But ladies, you have the power in all of this. Most men, I'm going to say 98% of men are not going to set the standard for your sexual behavior in the early stages of a relationship. Most men are going to want to go for it because that's how they think. It's just they think with their you-know-what. Because it happens. It's a natural thing for them to be thinking. And sadly, some men, not my good guys, will play with your emotions on that, ladies. So be very, very aware of that. And don't let them creep in. You've got to have your standards so strong, which you're going to talk about in a minute, that their words, their fancy dinners, you're not wowed by it. Instead, you're wowed by their effort, their consistency, their quality. And when you set your standard, if they actually listen and hear your heart about it. So, but the good guy, let's talk about him because I'm a big fan. He's my 20%er. He's a guy that also has standards. He's the guy that says, the girl who puts out too quickly, she might be doing that for everybody. And the good guy is not cool with that. He does not want to see you in that light. He wants to think of you as precious to him. And so he will wait. He will happily, whatever standard you set, he will happily wait for it because he wants that quality woman because he is quality. So the good guy is willing to wait. And that good guy wants communication about it. He is good about talking about it. So this is where, ladies, you need to set your standards early because too many women go into these great dates, having fun, having a few drinks, and boom, they come out later either making out too much, giving away too much of something they didn't want to do, or even having straight sex on a first, second, or third date. And as one of my clients once explained, she said, Katy, I felt like I had like a sex hangover the next day. Like it just felt gross. Like I just did too much. When you drink too much and the next day you feel terrible. She said, I just did too much with this guy and I felt terrible and I felt terrible about myself. And that is not cool. And look, in the midst of it, she was kind of cool with it. It was enjoyable. He surely wasn't stopping the train from moving forward. So ladies, you've got to have this standard and you've got to really know what it is that you are comfortable with and how you're going to communicate that to the guy early because it's not fair for him. He doesn't read your mind. So let's talk about a couple of these standards. Now, if you ever watch Steve Harvey, I love Steve Harvey. He's kind of old school values. He is men are men, women are women, gender roles. I love Steve. He says, ladies, don't give him the cookies. Do not give him the cookies. He, for some reason, has a 3-month rule on this. That's his tried and true, which is interesting because in my 3-3-3 rule, by the 3rd month, you should either have determined the relationship and be moving forward or move on, right? So I like Steve. I like his 3-month rule. I do know that can be kind of hard. A lot of my clients are like, 3 months? That's crazy, Katy. I get that. But here's the thing. Here's the rule for you ladies. If you are going to have sex early, one thing you have to remember is that you can't use sex as a tool or a weapon to keep him. You can never use sex against him, because that's all it was sex. He wasn't engaging with you emotionally. He wasn't connecting with you. He was having sex with you. So you can't ever go back and say, well, I had sex with you, so I thought we were in a relationship. That is ridiculous. You're not in a relationship until you have DTR'd, determined the relationship, that you are in an LTR, in something long-term. So I highly recommend that you set that standard early. Where are you traveling in 2023? You're traveling with me. You're traveling on the Dating with Katy singles trips. Our first one will be in January to bring in the 2023 in warm weather, poolside, tequila shots, all included at the beautiful Breathless Resort. Bring your bestie, sign up, make it your Christmas gift to yourself, because in that middle of winter, you're going to be happy that you joined us. Space is limited. Then if you want a more difficult trip, well, I say that as a pun, you're going to want to join us for 10 days in Tuscany, where we will be difficultly drinking wine, looking for truffles, sitting by the beaches, going through the small communities of Lucca and the churches and the bars, and everything is included in that trip as well. You will want to join me. Space is limited. Make sure you click, sign up, put your down payments, and I will see you in Cancun and in Italy. Now, the other one I love is The Power of the Pussy. When you read this book, it's going to remind you that down here, your pussy is a commodity. And because of that, it has a value set. And how you are going to receive being treated is how you are going to use the pussy. So let's talk about this. And I think I'm blushing by saying the P word. I'm just going to say the P word from now on. So ladies, your pee has value. It has high value. You don't give it out for free, right? Why? What do they say? Why buy the cow if you can get the milk for free? Don't give it out for free. Unless it's all about you wanted to have sex, you're a confident woman, you did it with no strings attached, and that's, and you did it safely. That's your choice. That is your prerogative, but never use that against the man. So you've got to be careful with the pee, because it's your value set. It's really who gets it, who deserves it, and who's going to work for it. So be mindful of a few of these things. You should be dating other people while you're dating him. So if you are one of those women who are quick to give it out, I'm going to give you some suggestions. Be dating other people, because deep down, you can't be giving it out to multiple people. That is a line called trashy. Right there, that is just trashy and not classy. And my listeners are classy. So if you're highly attracted to one guy, and again, that's chemistry, that's physical, sexual, but you haven't really created a connection, keep dating other people. You need to see and be reminded that just because you have chemistry with someone doesn't mean you should have sex. Look, I can have chemistry with a 30-year-old guy because it's just there. But I would never even go out with one. But just doesn't mean, just because you have chemistry with someone doesn't mean you should be moving on that chemistry. So go be busy and go date other people. Be busy in your life, be dating other people so that you are not lured in by just this chemistry of a guy. And here's the next thing. You have to bring it up, and you have to bring it up early. And everyone always says, Katy, how do I do that? I just had a client. I'm setting her up with a guy long distance. It's going well. She's like, he's coming to visit. And in the visitation, you have overnights. He's in a hotel. I mean, it's a little bit more dangerous. It's not like you can drive back home in your car. It's, whether you go on a little mini trip together, how do you bring it up? Well, you got to bring it up sooner than later. And my 20%ers are quality people, so they're going to be good about it. And these are a couple things that you can say. The first thing you can do is get his thoughts on it. You could say something like, so what are your thoughts on being physical and sexual stuff? Ladies, this is a great way to really see what his thoughts are on it. Like, make him talk first. You don't have to do the talking first. Ladies, the next thing that you can say to him is this, and this is your standard, this is your rule. You can say, I'm only going to get fully physical when we're fully exclusive. That's simple. Fully physical is sex. Physical, one thing, fully physical, which is maybe not understood. You might need to even clarify that, but say, I am not going to be fully physical with someone until I'm fully exclusive with them. Bring it up and bring it up early. By date 3, if the chemistry is hot, you might need to bring it up. If the chemistry is not super hot, but you're moving into something and you're getting more comfortable, bring it up a couple dates later. But bring it up sooner than later, ladies. There is nothing wrong with knowing what you want and how it should look. So that's what you need to ask yourself. And what is it you want from him? So if he's willing to wait, what is it that he should be doing to earn the cookie? Do you want him to, be around a lot? Do you want him to be traveling with you a lot? Do you want him to, meet your kids and be a part of that bigger picture? You have your desires too. He's got something that you want and you've got something that he wants. And look, I understand people say, well, Katy, that sounds like a commodity. It sounds like a trade. At the end of the day, it kind of is. There is a truth to the fact that this, my heart, my body, everything about me, if you really want this, I too want that back from you. So bring it up early, bring it up sooner than later. Guys are men, men are men. They are going to want you. If they're dating you, they like you physically. But the guy who sticks it out with you is going to wait for the cookies, as Steve likes to say. Well, thanks for joining. I'd love to get your feedback. Write it down below. Make sure you subscribe and make sure you get in my network. The link is right below as well. All right, you guys, we'll talk soon.